It's a little groovy. You're allowed to dance.
All right, sweet. I love dancing.
Okay. Hello. Oh, all right. Here we are at day 3 of Baltimore Comic Con, and we are bringing out the big guns today. We have with us Dulce Montoya, Thea. I didn't get the pronunciation of your last name.
Chuck.
Thea Chuck from AWA Studios and Artisans. Studios and Artisans. Is that how it's still?
AWA Studios.
AWA Studios.
Because the Artisans is one of the A's.
Oh, it's one of the A's. Okay, got it. AWA Studios, which, if you recall from last year's Baltimore Comic Con coverage, we spoke to the editor-in-chief, the publisher, the boss,
Chief Creative Officer,
Axel Alonso, a legend in the comic world. A lot of what people are enjoying in like the MCU right now, like came up when he was in charge of Marvel Comics. But Axel and these incredible people, including you both, have started this amazing company, AWA, that has some of the most creative and intelligent writing. Like, just the words on the page, we were reading all the stuff we picked up yesterday, just blow us away. But also because we're movie fans, like, all of this is going to make, I hope someone's making the movies, like, right now. Because, you know, I love the MCU, I love the DCU, but people are saying, like, oh, it's all the same. Okay, great. Put your money where your mouth is, make one of these, because they're incredible.
Yeah, thank you.
And another big thing, big news. Dulce worked on what is now Ringo and Eisner, already won an Eisner award-winning Not All Robots.
Well, I would like to say that we are a startup, so we all very much pitch in, and it's not just me, but I'm basically, coordinating editor, making sure everybody gets their stuff in on time.
Okay.
Team effort, AWA. I would like to say.
That's great to hear. Startups are awesome that way. It's like a happy family. But your work is not just awesome to read, but it's winning awards. It won one of the biggest awards last night here at the con. And we want to talk to you about your books, and then we want to talk about movies and stuff. This is my sister, Becky.
Hi.
Hello.
Becky's.
What?
No, I don't know. I just wanted to know. I don't know.
Am I paying attention? Yes, I'm paying attention. I know what we're talking about.
When we're doing the podcast, sometimes Becky is.
When
Which
you
one
take
is the
a breath.
older sibling?
Wait, how about you guess?
All right. When you take a breath, I'll ask a question, but it's,
Okay, that's true.
You're very excited. Also, you're very excited.
That's
and I
true.
don't want to take this moment from you.
Okay.
I know how much this interview means.
Okay.
How
All right.
amped up you are about these comics.
And
Wait,
even though
no, go ahead.
even though it's a team effort, I just want to also say Thea worked on Absolution, which is like, as you described it yesterday, but I'm going to re-describe it in my own way. Imagine the Running Man with assassins and the Hunger Game,
Yeah.
but there's like streaming and you need likes, and it's not just about the killing, it's the style. It's so intense.
It very much had like a Hunger Games vibe in the turning murder into a commodity, like a pop culture.
I say I enjoyed it more than the Hunger Games, though. So that was
Yeah,
really awesome.
I it's definitely
So do I.
Yeah. It's definitely edgier and more interesting.
And then Hit Me, which
I want to
is
hear. And you both worked on that? No.
I was series editor on that one.
So Hit Me, which I would not read to your kids.
No.
I didn't get a chance to start reading it, but we read what it's about, and that seemed really different from other stories that are out there. So I do want to have a moment to get into that one and explain that, and just overall the body of work that AWA puts out. Can you tell me what it's about, what the common thread is?
Yeah, totally. So, Axel, most recently Marvel, but he was also a senior editor at Vertigo. Before that, worked on Preacher and other stuff that's really great. I can't remember right now. It was a long awards night last night. But I always think that we're very much more in the Vertigo vein, very much action, adventure, horror, mature readers. Like, we really care a lot about the storyline. And we really care a lot about the art, and we're just trying to really put stuff out there that's intelligent and smart and beautiful to look at, and that it has a cinematic quality to it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Tia, how about you? What's your take on the AWA vibe?
Yeah, I mean, most of our stuff is creator owned, so I think that gives a lot of flexibility in how people choose to tell their stories. So with DC or Marvel, you're working with established characters, you have a story that you want to tell, but you might not be able to go completely off the rails with it. Where we work is in a space that we have a lot of flexibility and freedom to let creators tell the stories that they want to tell. So I think that's kind of where we're thriving right now.
Yeah, and I love it because you said cinematic, but they're also like true books, meaning the stories really take you through a beginning and end. There isn't like not that I don't mind the serial comics, but you feel like you've invested in something, you soak it up, and then you're ready for the next chapter, but you've gotten some kind of resolution. So that's really, really exciting thing about the books. Okay, let's get into the individual books that you all worked on. Okay.
Cool.
I want to start. Well, let's save Not All Robots for last. The big award winner. But let's start with Absolution.
Sure.
Okay. Absolution, and this is when we're going to throw in some of our movie questions. All right. Like I said, I described it. Did I describe it well? Did I do a good job? Okay, cool. All right. What's a little bit about the behind the scenes of Absolution? What are the folks thinking about when they're driving these characters in the direction that they're driving them? I mean, there's the bigger point about media and things like that, but tell us a little bit about sort of what the drive is behind it.
Sure. So Peter Milligan is the author, and a lot of his stuff does have a more philosophical bent. He wants to tackle really deep, big questions. And we actually have, in the back matter of this issue, an essay by Peter where he goes into some of his thoughts and motivations about the character. So if you pick up issue number 1, you can definitely get that and read a little bit more into Peter's mind.
So we all see the slight shade for me for not having read the long part at the end. Everyone knows on the show that I don't read essays.
Yes. So it's right here.
Oh, okay. All right.
There are a lot of words at the end.
I'll read it and I'll summarize it for you.
I will get that. But okay, but that's really, really cool. That is really cool.
Yeah, I think Peter wanted to tackle the idea of what is justice and what is absolution, and can you get that from other people, or is that something that has to come internally? And that's something that Nina really struggles with over the course of the series.
That's fantastic.
That is so rad. Okay. We'll come back to it later, but we're going to need you to cast the movie.
Okay.
Okay? We'll come back. Okay. Hit me.
Hit me.
Unlike anything I've ever read, and that one I read the opening essay, and it is absolutely incredible because it really situates this in talking about sex workers and in talking about BDSM culture and really framing up the character in this incredibly powerful and empowering way. I just the opening from the writer, who's Krista Faust, was fantastic. But I've only gotten like a little bit into it. Tell us a little bit about it. As the series editor, you really know where it's going, what's happening.
Yeah. So the story is about Lulu, who is a professional pain slut. It's set in the early 90s Atlantic City. And she ends up witnessing the execution of one of her best clients. And a bag of diamonds is left at the scene that she runs off with. And then, of course, trouble ensues. But, she really uses her wits about her and her street smarts to get ahead and, win it all at Atlantic City. But I'm super proud of this book. I love it. Krista Faust, we've worked with her on other titles as well, including Redemption and Bad Mother, which was one of our first titles.
Bad Mother's awesome.
Thank you. Yeah. And, she's a professional dominatrix, has been in the sex worker industry for a very long time, New York and LA. And I'm, again, so proud of this because ever since I started this gig, I really wanted to do something like this. And working with Krista is amazing. And working with Priscilla as well and Marco Lesko, they're a great team. So this book is awesome. This is something I've always wanted to do in my career. So really proud of it.
That's really cool. As I would say, there's probably other books that cover this, but this is unlike anything I've ever read, and it's really cool.
Yeah.
And obviously coming from a very authentic voice. This is someone who understands, anyway, from Krista's background. This is not, no one else, it's important to have someone with the lived experience to be driving characters who are coming from that similar
as opposed to being written by like some dude who wants to be edgy.
Yeah.
This is written by someone who's speaking from the voice. It's really cool.
I spoke to her, we'd spoken extensively about everything that goes into the book over the phone and everything. And, we were doing this project during lockdown, early lockdown. And, it was so great to be able to talk to Krista and, get that authenticity out and be able to really give a real representation out there about the, sex workers. It's real work. And I love it.
It's really cool.
I'm excited to read it.
Okay, now, Eisner and Ringo Award winner, Not All Robots. I was, as Becky said, cackling. The dialogue, the word.
Well, to be clear, he was cackling, and then I get a, oh no! And at that point, I was like, give me the book.
I love it because I also have similar reactions to things all the time. Perhaps it's the Jew in us. I don't know. But people are always like, "What? Is everything okay? Why are you so dramatic?"
We're very expressive.
Yes,
we're very expressive.
Absolutely. So I enjoy a good cackle. I enjoy a good gasp. Thank you.
And this one was like the satirical world of like, it was like Futurama, but with the foreboding apocalyptic elements of Planet of the Apes. I was at least that's what I was feeling.
No, that's a really great log line. I wish that's what we went with. Because the minute I read the script, I was like, oh man, this is like Futurama. I love it already.
Actually, I would love to play a little bit of a log line game with you also, because yesterday hanging out at the booth, I was blown away one by one as everyone's describing me the log lines of the different books. But thank you. I appreciate the compliment there. Okay, AWA. What other big stuff is in store for AWA?
Well, if you check out AWA now, you'll find out.
AWA now.
But we have some great projects coming up with Dan Panosian, who I just love to death. He's done covers for us before, but he's been getting into writing more. He's a very talented artist. But this one he's writing, it's God, what would be the log line for this? It's like 1970s rock and roll, Satanism with like a haunted house and a flower child who has to try to get the best out of the Satanist cabal, and
every one of these, I want to see the movie version of every one of these. Netflix, God bless you, but no more Gray Man. And Gray Man was like, okay, why wouldn't you just make this?
Yeah,
so much more interesting.
Yeah.
Are we going to cast?
Yeah, we got a cat. Okay, we've given you time to think. I hope your brains have been percolating. Tia, I'm going to come back to you, but then Dulce, you. All right. So, Nina's got an awesome mohawk and guns. Who are you going to cast in the lead role?
I actually went through and did all the art reference for this book, and as I was collecting art reference for Nina, I cast early Mila Jovovich.
Oh, amazing.
Yes.
Perfect. Truly one of the action icons, sci-fi icons, and I mean, The Fifth Element is a big deal for our family. But I haven't seen all the Resident Evil because, while I love certain elements of horror, when it's too apocalyptic, I get very anxious. Resident Evil doesn't look like there's any happy ending. It just seems like every time it ends, there's going to be some more horrific thing that opens. But she's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a great choice. That's so cool. All right. Dulce. Let's start with Hit Me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna skip Lulu for a second.
Okay.
She has a muscular sparring partner, guard dog character / unrequited love interest.
Oh yeah, he's so hot.
That is, that is a very handsome drawing. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
And there's this great line about how guard dogs and stray cats don't go together, even though he's in love with her. I mean, it's it's just so well. Immediately you catch everything that's happening. Who would you cast in that role?
Oh my God. Okay. God, I completely forgot his name, but
Danny.
no, yeah, I know Danny, but I forgot the actor's name. You guys watch Kim's Convenience?
Kim's Convenience, yes,
the older
absolutely.
brother.
Our mother and our other sister.
The one that's in the Marvel movies now?
Yeah.
Simo.
Oh, yeah. The guy that's in the Marvel movie.
Yeah.
The guy that's
Yeah.
Shang-Chi.
Yeah.
Yeah. Great
He's
choice.
so hot. I
Yeah.
was in
Great
love with him in
choice.
this role.
Oh,
That's what I was
great
thinking
choice.
of during this. So.
That's
Great.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great choice.
If he wants to ever talk to me about it, I'm happy
Okay, well,
to-
I mean, we grew up in Canada. He's Canadian.
Oh,
there's-
good.
There we go.
You know,
Yeah.
maybe someone in Canada will bootleg him this.
Yeah.
6 degrees,
We'll find a way to him.
Yeah.
Now, Tia, you've read all these books too, right? Okay. In the other books here, are there any other casting things that you have? Like, do you have a Nina in mind? Do you have for the family? I don't know how long the main family survives because I've only read the first issue. But
So maybe
do you
maybe we're not bothering to cast.
Yeah, maybe
them.
we're not, or maybe we don't have to spend a lot of money on those. But or maybe the voice of Razorball, the key robot. Like, is there any of those that come to mind?
I mean, Dulce was the series editor on those books, so I did not have quite as much as involvement.
But you read them, right?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
So I mean, like as a fan, I'm gonna cast too. Just so you know.
Oh man, yeah, nothing's coming to mind right now, unfortunately.
Oh, okay. We'll come back to you.
Can I give a proposal for Razorball?
Yeah, please.
I would go, obviously, someone comedic, and I'm thinking either Rhys Darby from all the Taika Waititi stuff,
wow.
or if you're going to American, maybe a Will Ferrell.
Well, I was thinking, and maybe
Reese-
this is too obvious, but he's so brilliant, and he's done dark comedy before. Is Patton Oswalt?
Oh my God. Funny
yeah.
you should say that because he is a fan of ours.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love.
He really loved Hit Me. I'm pretty sure he was also a fan of Not All Robots.
Yes.
And I saw, we had the opportunity to see I Love My Dad a while ago, like before, I think it's finally out now.
Right, you already saw it. You saw it at South by,
I
right?
saw it at South by.
Oh,
and,
that looks so good.
and there's a darkness and a funniness and a desperation. His performance in that is so incredible. That reminds me of Razorball because he's kind of desperate. And I mean, at least to me in the first chapter, there's a desperation of trying to find some meaning and but there's a little bit of a funny. Anyways, I could hear Patton Oswalt in there.
Well,
so maybe he'll do it.
6 degrees. Please also let Patton know.
We'll start tweeting.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a big Goldberg's fan too, and he narrates that show, so he does a
Excellent.
lot of disembodied voice work.
Yeah, he would
Yeah.
be great for that, and he's a fan.
All right. How about Lulu?
Lulu, man, I am not up on my recent movies, I will say, but I do feel like Zendaya would be a pretty great Lulu.
Zendaya would be very cool.
I really like her range a lot, and I really feel like she would be really great for this role, and I would like to see her
Maybe
doing that.
Zoe Kravitz.
Oh, yeah, or Zoe
sure.
Kravitz.
For
That's
sure.
very cool. Bringing those
Yeah.
the Catwoman vibes.
Yeah,
with
that'd be
her.
Definitely.
dope. Yeah, that's a good one.
All right. I really love that. You know who I really love? Oh my goodness, how could I possibly forget her name? Because I've only said it 1,000 times. She's an Upload, Andy.
Oh, right.
Because she's played more. Hold on, I gotta pull it up. Do you know what I'm talking about? The lead, Andy Allo. Andy
Have you seen the
Allo
show Upload?
would be really
Lead in that.
okay. Andy Allo.
It's a great show.
And she can
Very
she
cute.
can kind of do everything. She's incredible.
Sweet.
Oh, okay. All right. Now let's just talk. Do you have a couple more minutes?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Oh, okay, great.
No,
All right.
I was actually just trying to double check the name of the actor, Simu Liu, because I felt
Yeah.
bad. And I love him so much, but again, I'm so not up to date with my modern contemporary actors and actresses. All I do is comic books now. So
Oh, okay. All right. So now let's just talk in general things you like in the movie. We always love to have recommendations, and things like that for our audience. Are there any shows or movies that you're watching these days that you're into, or one that you don't think maybe gets enough appreciation? So, folks should go back and check
okay, yeah.
this out.
I'm God, ever since the pandemic, I've been in the complete opposite boat. I've just been rewatching The Simpsons over and over and over again.
That's a great
Wow,
rec.
that's a great
I'm
one.
a
That's a
huge
great rec.
Simpsons fan.
Uh-huh.
I did start rewatching Bob's Burgers again.
Oh, that is a big one in my house. My
Yeah.
kids, I brought it to my kids. They have now watched it so much, all the way through multiple times, that I basically
me too.
can't watch it anymore. I love it.
Yeah.
But It's on in our house all the time.
I know. It's on mine too, but I'm okay with it still.
Okay.
One other show I will say, because I'm very excited for the last season to show up in America eventually, is Dairy Girls. Really, really love
I've
Dairy
heard
Girls.
great stuff about
I've heard
Dairy.
great stuff
Very
about it. I
good,
haven't seen it
extremely
yet.
funny. I highly
I
recommend.
think Lily's a fan, our third co-host.
Oh yeah. Have you seen Reservation Dogs?
A
No.
little bit. I
Reserva-
haven't been able
But
to
I've been
finish
thinking-
the-
Reservation Dogs
That's
is
a
like
favorite.
incredible. The two seasons of Reservation Dogs feels like it's not the same. No, there's not much murder in it, but in the sense the way an AWA book begins and ends, but there could be another chapter, but
Yeah.
you feel that satisfaction.
Yeah.
The first two seasons, like the end it's beautiful.
Oh, I gotta
Incredible.
watch that then. Yeah, that's actually part of the reason that I love Dairy Girls too. And I mean, it is like 3 seasons they're only doing because it's an Irish show, so you know,
Different rules.
different rules over
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's definitely like at the end of every season, there's like a certain resolution that feels very like, okay, even if this did end, I feel happy with this, and yeah, it feels complete.
All right, Tia, what are you watching?
I just finished another rewatch of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
That speaks right to
the
our hearts.
greatest, the great
an absolute favorite.
outside of Stars, and even then, one could argue Stars is a little bit bloated now. But to me, Avatar, Airbender, that
Yes.
universe, that Avatar verse is the best, most whole, created, amazing universe since Star Wars.
I just went and bought it.
Momo and Appa.
Yeah.
Momo and Appa.
Oh yeah, we're
To
very.
hang in my children's room, but
We're Becky and I are. We
It's for
still.
me.
Lily has still not watched the show. That's our other sibling, and we get. I get visibly angry at people who haven't watched it yet.
I just find it so like
Okay, well, I have
there's
not
a
seen
gap. There's a gap. Listen, there's a gap. There's just gonna be a gap
Yeah, you
until
just
you
don't.
do.
You don't understand. All right.
I know. I just don't get it. All right.
So can we ask you a couple Airbender stories?
All right.
Questions. So you've seen Korra, of course, too.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Not recently, but yes.
Okay, but you know them both. Okay. So who is your favorite character across all of? You got to pick one across all of both shows.
Toph is so iconic in the original series, and I feel like they did her very dirty in Korra by making her a cop, but that's fine.
Well, I think interesting that they made her dirty in Korra by making her a cop or the mom of the cops. But I thought that the way her character evolved with unconventional relationships and the way she mentors, but in that tough love kind of
Right.
way, like
I mean, you saw hints of that in the original series with how she worked with Aang.
yeah,
And also, like living all by herself out in the woods, like it's very tough to push.
but also
literally
to have
everything
taken a
and
few
everyone away.
lovers,
Yeah,
a few mysterious
she's had a
lovers,
few mysterious lovers,
Oh,
and
now
she's
I wanna
pushed
watch
everyone
this
away.
show.
yeah, top like that. But that's also like Brian and Mike. You know, like I know them, right? Like DiMartino and Kadietsko. Like that's so. But I see what you mean by making her a cop. But then amongst her children, you had the tension play out so beautifully, right? Between her by the book cop and then the like more
Hippie.
bohemian bureaucrat kind of or like left-wing big government person
Yeah.
Right.
versus so that's so all right. So I love Toph. My personal favorite over time, it was originally Katara. It kind of continues to be Katara, but over time, Korra's growth is so amazing. I'm so emotional every time we finish Korra, and it's the character I want to see more of most because I feel like it was just getting started.
Yeah.
So Korra's mine. Beck, how about you?
I would say my favorite is Sokka, but I identify most with Toph.
Becky's
But
sure she's an earthbender.
No, which is why Sokka is my favorite. It makes sense because Toph and Sokka have such a special friendship, like such a close bond. So obviously Sokka is my favorite because I identify with Toph.
Makes sense to me.
And I was telling Becky this morning, we were talking about something. I said, Beck, I'm really jealous, or I'm really envious of you. And she thought I was talking about like something like heavy in life, and she starts finishing my sentence, and I was like, no, I'm just jealous that you know what kind of bender you are. I really I struggle with what kind of bender I would be. Do you know what kind of bender you would be?
No, I feel like sometimes, like water, I feel like is the most versatile.
Oh, that's cool.
but firebending looks so cool.
Oh, wow. I'm confident I'm not earth or fire. But I wonder if I'm an airbender because I'm a kid at heart. And there's that. But I don't know if I'm light and airy.
You're pretty anxious.
I'm probably more water. I would say I'm
probably more water.
which is funny because I
'Cause
don't like
think
being in the water.
You're the most similar to Katara of
That is-
anyone.
yeah,
like I
that
would say
is-
that's the character that I would think speaks to you the most,
I-
because you want everyone to have fun, but just in a way that makes sense
And
is organized
on mission.
and is on
I
mission.
like staying
we can
on-
have fun as long as we are staying on mission.
I think I need a Cosmo quiz to tell me what it is.
Oh yeah. Which bender you are? Okay. Oh my goodness, I could talk about this show like all
but
day.
since this is an interview with AWA,
Who are busy.
Who are busy.
Let's talk about us more.
Okay. Let us talk about you all. Tell us a little bit about your journey as artists to working with this incredible upstart publisher. Who wants to go first?
I can.
Okay.
So I actually went to art school and realized I did not want to be a freelancer. That was not what I was interested in. But I had a media studies professor who had a lot of contacts in the comic industry. So he suggested that I reach out and start looking for internships. So I first interned with DC, and then I interned with Marvel, and then the pandemic hit.
Wow.
My God,
Those are incredible internships.
pretty
If I
good
could go back-
places to start.
That's
yeah.
pretty wild.
Yeah.
And then?
The pandemic hit, and the comics industry shut down, and I was like, oh, very cute that this happened to the industry I am trying to enter right now. But one of the people that I worked with at Marvel, Nick Lowe, he was trained by Axel, and he heard that Axel was looking for an assistant editor. So he got in touch with Axel and passed my name along, and Axel reached out to me.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That's so incredible. And needless to say, you must be incredibly talented, right? Like you don't end up with these people without
Right.
without having done an amazing work. So hat tip to you. What's your dream job in the comics world?
I really do like editorial work.
That's great.
I think that's like the perfect mix of having some creative input, but it's not my name on the cover. I am not the talent who has to hit the deadlines. I'm making sure that
But you can be the little notes that sign, like Jim Shooters in the 90s would always be like, look back at this issue, or isn't this cool? Like,
Yeah.
and have the TC.
I'm more behind the scenes, making sure that things are running on time.
Okay, very cool. And what genre do you want to work in most?
I really love monster stories.
Ooh.
Oh, very
Okay, who's a
cool.
monster that you love?
I think my interest in monsters started in high school. We read Grendel by John Carter.
Oh, like that's Vertigo. That's right. Is Grendel?
It's a novel, like
Oh.
from Grendel's perspective.
Oh, okay. I was thinking like Grendel Warchild, like
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
old.
yeah,
This is just Grendel, like
This is
from the
literature, yeah.
From the. Oh.
Yeah, again, books.
Yeah,
books.
he doesn't do that.
I
He's
literally
not gonna know.
I bought a bookmark. I bought a bookmark that has John Ralphio's face on it from Parks and Rec, and it says "Books are the way."
That's
And I bought it.
amazing.
It's right over there from that
Really?
guy, by the way, Drew Blank.
He has great
Ooh,
The
I
most
might go
amazing
get
stuff.
that.
The most money I spent here was over there.
Lovely.
Even more than I spent at AW. Okay, so
Don't tell
so
us
Grendel. All right, so that's from the
Beowulf.
right? Yeah, that's it.
And we have our own interpretation. It's called Grendel, Kentucky.
Yes, that's one of my favorites.
Yeah, it's a Beowulf, but set in the 70s with biker chicks.
Cool.
So highly recommend.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
All right, Dulce.
Yes.
How did you make your way to working for this incredible publisher?
Quite circuitously. So in undergrad, I went to a very tiny liberal arts school in Ohio. And I was really more
Do you want to name check your school? Are you proud of it, or just like?
Kenyon College.
I know people who went to Kenyon.
Do you really?
I knew you
It's
were
so
going to say
small.
Kenyon.
I'm sure you knew I was going to say that.
I did. Yeah.
I'm sure we probably know some of the same people then. Yeah.
Okay,
it's so,
cool.
so small.
We'll talk.
We'll talk it. But great education. And I was really kind of just going on the path of being an art curator. I would say Kenyon really prepares us for grad school. That was kind of the expectation. I'm really glad I didn't do that. But for a long time, I thought I was going to go to grad school and get a master's or a PhD in art history and do the fine arts thing and everything. And then kind of right after graduation, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer for a while. I would have been a terrible lawyer, other than the fact that I can hold my booze. That's the only thing that would
Some
have
good
helped
lawyer
me.
shade there.
Yeah. Well, don't work with them. But yeah, then I just decided, all right, I don't want to go to grad school. I don't want to be a lawyer. I got to figure out what I want to do. And I applied to this job and I got it, and it's my career now. So yeah.
That's amazing.
I've never felt more at home, though, in a job.
It sounds like a showendipity situation.
Showendipity. You know what a showendipity is?
No.
Of course not. We made it up. But why would you know what it is? A showendipity. Well, this will be our next. We'll close on this if you still have a few more minutes, because I want to talk to Dulce some more. Showendipity. Start thinking about it. It's a show or a movie that comes to you in a moment that is the exact right moment.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a good show and you would have liked it anyway, but in that moment it gets in your soul.
Or maybe it's something that is maybe not, you wouldn't, if you had seen it in another mood, in another situation, another point of your life, you wouldn't have connected with it as well. But in this moment, it was exactly what you needed.
Last year, for example, during Baltimore Comic Con, Becky and I
the
were like
best
exhausted in
show.
the hotel room, editing the episodes, and we put on the show The Other Two on
I heard about that.
on
I did
HBO.
want to see that.
That's a showendipity.
and it's about siblings.
Yeah.
And
It's about
it was the
siblings.
best.
So
It was
funny.
like this came to us
Yeah.
in the right moment. So just think about yours to
Yeah.
close on that. Okay. So what is your dream job in the industry?
I don't know. I'm going to be the next Stanley. I just want to be a
Okay.
character walking around, making jokes, you know.
Cameos.
You'll do
You'll do
cameos.
cameos in all of the AWA movies.
Yeah. I just, want to grow a real big mustache and be on The Simpsons someday.
I
and-
love it.
Yeah. I'm joking a little bit.
A little bit.
No, but I mean, I love working in editorial. I love making relationships with our artists and writers, incredible people, and just helping them make the best stories that they're doing. So, I feel like I'm already pretty much in my dream job. Just, hope to be a couple scales up so, I could earn more money.
That's so awesome to hear.
Yeah.
That is so great.
Now, what genre do you want to work on most?
Again, I'm kind of already doing it. Crime and satire and horror. Yeah, I feel really... It's funny because I remember when I was growing up, being 7 years old, my best friend at the time, she said she wanted to be a comic book artist. And I just remember thinking to myself as a 7-year-old, like, why would you want to do that? You can't earn any money. And now I do this. And I'm so happy to be earning money from comic books, and I'm so happy to be able to offer artists and writers money to do comic books, and
No, that's great.
offer them lots of money for those of them that are thinking about working with me. So yeah, I love my job. It's a dream. It's great.
That's amazing. All right, showendipity.
Yes.
All right, because I feel like AWA was showendipity last year for us. Jackie came by our booth and said, "Hey, do you want to interview Axel Alonso?"
Mm-hmm.
And we're like, "Yes, we'll interview comic book legend Axel Alonso." And he's going to sit for 5 minutes. We sat for much longer. He gave us so much time. He's such a mensch. And then since then, we dove in. I mean, I dove in and became such an AWA fan. So for me, that was a real showendipity moment. Serendipity. Right? But when have you had a showendipity movie or TV show or media moment like that? Like I said, The Other Two was big for us. What's another? While you think, this is when you do your thinking. We'll give some examples. What's one of your big ones?
Avatar is a huge one for me. It's a bit of an I told you show / a showendipity because Shai had been really on me to watch it. And I was like, no, I'm not going to be into it. But after I had my second kid and I'm home on maternity leave, I finally, I'm home alone with the baby all day, every day. I turned it on. I started watching it, and it was just like, I don't know, my heart was just cracked open, and I'm like, I am ready to receive this. And it was a perfect moment. Yeah.
How about you all?
I think for me, Arcane on Netflix.
Oh.
League of Legends show.
League of Legends
cool.
show, like it's connected to the games?
It is.
Okay.
You don't need to have any League of Legends knowledge because I
Good.
did not going into it.
So what's the pitch? Yeah.
So the story follows one of the main characters from the video game, Jinx. It's kind of her origin story. The animation is what drew me in. It is so beautiful. It looks hand-painted.
Wow.
Yeah, I would highly recommend it just off
Love
of...
that. So not your typical sort of, CGI looking 3D universe. Like
Right,
something
exactly.
That's beautiful.
Oh, yeah. I was in the pandemic and I needed something, and I heard that there was this beautiful animated show on Netflix, and I checked it out, and it was amazing.
All right, Arcane.
Yeah.
Dulce?
For me, I would say it's the author Natsuo Kirino. She is a feminist Japanese author who writes some really gnarly stuff. First book I read by her was Grotesque. That would have been, I think, last year or 2 years ago. It was right around the time, actually, we started working on Hit Me. Her books are insane. Her other book, Out, is really popular. There is a medically accurate decapitation scene in there that
is Out from AWA?
No,
Oh, that's
no,
not
no.
the that's
It's
not the
just
Out from
no, it's a
AWA.
novel.
Okay, it's
Oh,
a different.
yeah, 'cause we do
you
have-
have a thing.
we
The
do.
Nazi fighting one.
Right, yeah.
Yeah,
This one is about 4 Japanese women, middle-aged, who are working in a lunchbox factory who end up helping cover up a murder and end up in more decapitation situations. But the
Wow.
stuff is gnarly. And I remember talking to Krista about her books, about Natsuo Kurino, and we really connected on it. And yeah, I just felt like what a wonderful author to come into my life to read and, you know, gain more inspiration about, and to be able to connect with Krista and to be able to do a crime story like Hit Me. I feel like all those books, all that literature really got to me at the right moment.
That's
That's
great.
incredible.
Wonderful.
Okay, we are here with Dulce Montoya, Thea from AWA Studios. Say all the things of where people can follow all the things as we wrap up.
All right. You can follow us on Instagram. I want to make sure I
AWA,
get it
so
right.
you know the right logo,
AWA
folks.
Studios official.
Yes. And you can follow us on LinkedIn, I'm sure. AWA Studios Official, yeah, that's
I will be applying for an internship.
Yes, please do. And what's the other stuff? You can follow our newsletter, please. That you can go to our website, which is probably awastudios.net. Where else?
Oh no, but you as artist, do you as artist want to be followed?
Oh, I mean, I'm not an artist. I can barely draw. But as an editor, sure, you can follow me at Dulce Maria Montoya. That's Dulce Maria and Montoya, like, you know, Princess Bride. You can see pictures of me and my rabbits, pretty much, and sometimes comic books that I work on.
Okay.
I am actually an outlier in that I don't have any social media. I am very bad at it, and it stresses me out. So
Okay.
I would just
Well, then
direct
don't
you
do
to
it.
Dulce. Yeah.
Stay away from it. It is
Yeah.
not necessary for life. But what is necessary is reading the AWA
Yes.
works. Thank you so much for making so much
Thank
time
you.
to chat with us.
Thank
We're
you.
such big
Really
fans.
special.
Thank you.
And hugs from the Friday Night Movie family to the AWA family.
And ditto. Like
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great rest of the con.
You too.